Can you go a little bit further on volatility? How do you see it moving forward with less of that?
I think it's going to go down. I don't think it's going to go away. I've sort of been thinking for this cycle we'd hit up somewhere around 150 to 180,000. So it's not really that big of a move from here, given previous moves. It sounds big. There will be a huge mania around that, but it's not really that big of a move. And then I suspect we'll have another bear phase again after that, and you could come back down to where we are now. So that would be another 60, 70% decline, or 50, 60%. So, I always say that this space is not really for civilians. Like, I don't think that you should just be out there trying to, speculate in cryptocurrency. It's very difficult. This is the hardest market I've ever seen by a factor of 10x. I mean, compared to the traditional market. So, but going up from 60 to 180 and then maybe back down to 70 or 80 or 100.
Vol will be higher.
But it's not that high compared to what we had 5 years ago, 8 years ago. I mean, it's
Dan, you're
de
right.
minimis.
I mean, you're seeing, if you look at Bitcoin vol, it's 50s and 60s. Like it's pedestrian. It looks a lot like oil vol, at different points, right? But I think as you move out the asset class, and you move a little into the longer tails,
Well, there's also no liquidity out there. I mean, you guys traffic in that stuff, right? It's just gaps and.
100%. But if you look at that, for people who are looking, that implied vol that you're talking about traditionally, that mirrors the realized vol, and you see that as you move out. I mean, so much of the crypto ecosystem, if you look back 3-4 years ago, crypto was an option, right? It was either going to zero and people had it in their portfolios and were fine with it going to zero, or it going to 180. Where now they look at Bitcoin and they say, well, Bitcoin's here, ETH is here, Solana is here, a handful of others are here, and so now it starts to look like a real asset class and behave like a real asset class, which is what it is. So as you move farther out the tail, yes, some of those will still have outsized returns in either way, in either direction, which also tells you that the volatility should be higher there.
I agree. I mean, I felt like earlier this year we had so many good news, like ETF and also halving, and even 6 months after halving, people talk about, oh, if you look at the statistics, Bitcoin would try new high 6 months after the halving event. So I felt like we just repeat those narratives too much because we just don't have the catalyst, don't have some good events coming out from this space to support the crypto prices. But I agree with Jason. I felt like after the election, we may see more talking point like the regulations, hopefully the bill get passed, and then maybe we have like more pro-crypto like president and also the Congress to support more innovation. And my expectation is still, I'm with Jason. I think volatility should go up a little bit after the election.
I mean, the Bitcoin vol is sitting on the 1 year somewhere in between the Magnificent Seven stocks. So single stocks that are quite volatile, that are widely held by most investors here in the US. But Bitcoin vol is pretty much in line with some of those names in that basket. And you want vol, right? Because most investors are just getting off zero with Bitcoin, maybe 1 to 2% allocation. But that vol is going in the other direction of the other assets in the portfolio, right? Which is the whole diversification story of why a lot of us are in this space here. It's a very interesting asset class in that when added to a traditional portfolio, it is pretty additive to the total risk of the portfolio. So I don't think we want vol to go away because, it'll be quite boring.